Man, we're really excited about bringing this rev up portion of team development to a close, and players get an off day. We come back, we go over to Heinz Field, and that really kind of signifies the start of training camp, if you will. So we're going to turn the volume up, man. We're going to have an opportunity on Wednesday to perform in front of fans. We're excited about that element of the training camp process. We're excited about having an opportunity to put pads on. But make no mistake, we got a lot of good work done out here, laid some foundational things.
Everybody is getting ready here at Heinz Field for the Steelers to have their first practice of training camp on Tuesday. Welcoming in from the UPMC Rooney Sports Complex now, Mike Prisuta, once again kind enough to join me. Mike, the last practice on the south side for the Steelers. They will transition over here. Monday is a player's day off. What did Coach Tomlin have to say about injuries? I know a lot along the offensive line yesterday, and what happened today?
Yeah, I mean, nothing significant according to Mike Tomlin, which has been pretty standard here in the first 4 days. J.C. Hassenauer is considered day-to-day. He couldn't finish yesterday, and Antoine Brooks left today, but that injury not considered serious. It's interesting that, based on some of these tweaks and some guys being in relatively different states as camp gets started here, Trey Turner was one of the people that they made available to the media here on the field. And, we haven't seen the perceived starting five or the starting five that's listed on the first depth chart of camp. We haven't seen that unit together. But Trey Turner said he sees that as more as a positive. And I'm paraphrasing here, Missi, but Turner pointed out how often do you see five guys survive the entire season. And, Matt Canada had referenced that yesterday as well, the new offensive coordinator. So they have extra time here relative to the other teams. They're using it to get somebody ready. There isn't a real sense of urgency felt on anyone's part yet to figure out who the starting five offensive linemen are and get them as many reps together as possible.
You mentioned the depth chart that was released yesterday. As Coach Tomlin always says, it's something he has to do prior to that first preseason game. Of course, the Steelers and Cowboys in the Hall of Fame game. Any surprises?
None. Absolutely none. And I say that because I don't put a whole lot of stock in it, as Mike Tomlin does not. They could have put you and me in the backfield, split backs. I don't think that necessarily would have meant I'm going to be blocking for you on September the 12th against Buffalo.
That would have been interesting if we made the cut. All right. Prisuta, just observations from these first few days. They have not been in pads yet, obviously a week earlier than all other teams who are just starting to report today. What are you taking away from these days on the south side?
Actually, quite a bit. There's only so much that we can relate based on this environment of a closed practice. But you mentioned no pads till Wednesday. That's something that Keith Butler and Mike Tomlin have both referenced. That's when we're really going to see some separation of positions or some individuals making a move at positions. But that's not to say that there weren't some interesting revelations here over the 4 days. Let's start with day one. We highlighted on Thursday, Mike Tomlin saying that Kendrick Green's going to start in the Hall of Fame game and Antoine Brooks is probably going to start in the Hall of Fame game. That's interesting, at least to me. We heard some really heartfelt, emotional support for Stephon Tuitt on the parts of Cam Hayward and Keith Butler. Stephon Tuitt coming to camp, dealing with the loss of his brother who was killed in a hit-and-run accident in Georgia in early June. And really what Keith Butler and Cam Hayward had to say really resonated to me, particularly Cam Hayward saying that the teammates just have to be there for Stephon Tuitt, be someone he can talk to. And as Hayward put it, we got to take him under our wing. Melvin Ingram made a big splash yesterday, his first session with the local media, and he thinks he's 200% healthy. He feels like he's 18, even though he's 32 and coming off a season that he only played 7 games in due to a knee injury. But no expectation or anticipation from Ingram regarding his role. He's going to do what they tell him when they tell him to do it. And we heard the same stuff from Alex Highsmith today. Highsmith said he's got a starter mindset, but his job's going to be to go in there when they tell him to and do what they tell him to. Keith Butler thinks they have 3 good outside linebackers, no matter the order in which they appear from game to game. And, it's going to be hard to argue that point if Ingram, is as healthy, Missi, as he says he is.
All right, Triv, no real surprise, but Ben Roethlisberger is sticking with his normal camp schedule, full day limited, no practice today. He was out at practice today, and it sounded like some of the defensive coaches were impressed with him.
Well, Terrell Austin was talking about Roethlisberger's deep ball, and I guess I can say that there's probably a reason he was doing that. And Matt Canada also addressed that schedule that you referenced a moment ago, full day, half day, off day, as something that Roethlisberger has been doing for the last, I think, 7 or 8 years, as Canada put it, longer than his arrival into the organization. And as Canada put it, it's something that served Ben Roethlisberger very well, and it's also something that allows them to coach up the other quarterbacks. You know, everybody bumps up a spot when Roethlisberger doesn't play. Mason Rudolph to the 1s, and then Dwayne Haskins to the 2s, and Haskins and Josh Dobbs with the 2s and the 3s. So, you know, put an asterisk on everything we have seen for these last 4 days, because until they put the pads on and start playing real football instead of doing football-like activities, it's going to be much less significant. But it's not to say that some eyes haven't been opened, and it's not to say that I've got some more stuff to think about as I anticipate Wednesday and the first padded practice of camp.
All right, so Tuesday, the Steelers will be here. You and I will be here as well. That's where we are going to kick off our special Steelers training camp live. That starts at 1:30. As you mentioned, Wednesday, a big day. Fans will be inside Heinz Field, so I'm sure everyone will be appreciative of just having some bodies around and not just an empty stadium. So, again, you can check Steelers.com for the
if there's a big deep ball that's worth talking about, I'll be able to talk about it. That's what I'll appreciate.
Well, there you go. All right, we'll head to Steelers.com for all your information about Steelers training camp as everybody moves from the south side over here to Heinz Field. Mike, thanks for your time. We will see you on Tuesday.
Thanks, Missy.
That's going to do it for this edition. Thanks for joining us. Have a great weekend, everybody.